Before Mr. Roth begins this next session, which is his educational report, which I'm sure is going to be a delight to hear, there's one matter of housekeeping that we want to attend to. As many of you know, we have 3 board members that are going to be stepping down. This is the last time that they will be at this meeting serving as board members. And we want to acknowledge them for their hard work and their devotion to our community, to our kids, and appreciation for all that they've done. So we're going to call them up one by one so that we can acknowledge them. First board member that we're going to call up is Mark DeMontanak. Each board member is receiving a plaque this evening. Mr. DeMontanak's plaque reads as follows. I'm sorry, I can do this. In appreciation to 3 years of dedicated service as a member of the Inglewood Board of Education for your, I should have taken that out. For your desire and determination to improve the quality of education of the students in the Inglewood Public Schools, we are grateful. The Inglewood Board of Education is December 2014. Thank you so much, Mark. We really appreciate all that you've done. Thanks, Mary. I'm still around. I'll read this plaque and call the member up. In appreciation for 6 years of dedicated service as a member of the Inglewood Board of Education, for your desire and determination to improve the quality of education of the students in the Inglewood Public Schools, we are grateful. Vice President 2009 to 2010, President 2011 to 2012, the Inglewood Board of Education, December 2014. This is awarded to George Garrison III. Comes up, let me just say, it's truly been a privilege to serve with you, Mr. Garrison, as well. And thank you for availing yourself to me and providing some insight. It's actually what it takes to be a president. Thank you. So we're going to take care of that because we know that he was the president for 2 years, not 1. And an appreciation for 3 years of dedicated service as a member of the Inglewood Board of Education, for your desire and determination to improve the quality of education of the students in the Inglewood Public Schools. We are grateful. Vice President 2013 to 2014, Inglewood Board of Education, to Harley Hunt. Serving as the Vice President. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Good evening, all. Dr. James and myself have put together some suggestions designed to significantly improve the quality of our educational programs and increase the achievement of our children. Some items are for immediate implementation, some are for the following school year, and some are simply for a future discussion. There are many other things that we're working on, and we will roll them out in the ensuing months. But I very much wanted to do it while we have our present board, because they were the ones who empowered us to move forward with these suggestions. So I wanted to do it while this board was still together. It's not a fancy presentation.
Can you the lights a little bit so we can see? We can't really see that.
How many minutes we on the website?
I guess I can. This right now is a draft. I haven't even given this to the board. This is the first time. And I'm doing this as the first time because part of what we're going to see is I want the public to become more involved in education. I really want your feedback. I want you to call me. You're welcome to come and meet with me and discuss anything that is on here or is not on here. We can do it together. I just read the first part. One of the things that I've noticed while I was here is time on task. It is very important how much time a student actually spends on learning and studying, and it does have a direct impact on academic achievement. Presently, and in the past, some of the things that we did in the area of staff development, along with what we did after school on Saturdays and during the summer, we also were doing things, especially because of what the state did, where we would take a number of teachers out of their classes and put a substitute teacher in, where we've already stopped much of that. We do occasionally send a teacher out because there is some kind of staff development that's given by an organization, and that's the only time it's given. But for example, we did something just recently where instead of having all our new teachers miss classes and hire substitutes, we did it on a Saturday. The course was a wash because we didn't have to pay substitutes. And that's one of the ways that we're going to achieve more time on task. This is something that I think deserves a discussion, and that is Englewood Public Schools and Englewood as a community will benefit if we can return to a time when all the residents of Englewood consider educating their children in the Englewood School District. I think we need to sit down as a community and discuss what will it take that, for us to do that will result in many more children who live in Englewood to be schooled in our Englewood schools. It has many other parts to it. The social ethos, and I think you're going to be seeing it this year. We've already experienced it. And that is, we're trying more than ever to build within our students a sense, and our adult staff, a sense of community within the schools. A place where you can be an individual, make friends with others who have similar interests, and participate in events that reinforces positive acts and thinking. A place that celebrates each person's success. This is something that we've been discussing for a while. Athletics provide special opportunities for students to learn many skills that will serve them well as they go through life. It also provides opportunities to advance a student's education. We need to select with the same care that we give to other important appointments an athletic director / student advisor, coordinator. That has no special meaning. I don't know what title it's going to be when we finally do it. It's proposed that a committee be formed comprised of one person from our district, college athletic director, and from 1 to 3 persons from our community who will develop a job description, methods for selecting candidates, and then meet with the candidates and make a recommendation to the superintendent and to the board of that successful candidate. I just wanted to talk about a couple of little strategies that we're doing, and that's in addition to providing remediation for all students who need additional support. Special attention will be put in place for students who scored between 10 points under and 5 points above the proficient level on the previous year's achievement test. There are approximately 10% of the children on each grade level from 3 through 8 who scored within this narrow band. Staff persons will be asked to volunteer to take a special interest in 1 or 2 specific children who fall into this band. Remediation programs are so much more successful when a student knows someone really cares that he or she is successful. And I'll go further with that. First of all, 10% is a great deal. We're able to get those children over that piece. that would be a great success for him. There's also a psychological piece of this. Statistically speaking, and this I got from a gentleman in Rutgers who did a study, not just on arts, but on all students in New Jersey. Statistically, in that small band, there's no statistical importance. Psychologically, there is. Those children who are proficient, just make proficient, the chance of them graduating high school and going on to other academic endeavors increases dramatically, dramatically, over the children who just missed it by 2 questions. Hard to put your finger on one. These children are so close. We have to do something a little bit extraordinary to help them get into the proficient area. I wanted to say something about the mentoring program because that always comes up in some discussion. Englewood made an aggressive decision to institute the teaching of Mandarin language. I believe this decision distinguishes Englewood from districts that are behind this curve. And learning this language will provide unique business and cultural opportunities for our students. We should endeavor to support this program and treat it as a major subject. If you didn't notice, I think it's approximately a month ago, when many Mark Zuckerberg went to China, and he was met with accolades. He bothered to learn Mandarin. And he actually spoke to the people and gave a speech in Mandarin. And I believe this is going to earn his company considerable amounts of money because he did something that no other leader of any major corporation has bothered to do. We don't believe that we're giving full attention to PSAT and the SAT. These tests are important, and they do prepare our youngsters to qualify for admission to college. We need to develop a structure starting in the middle school, and I think we should wait for high school. I'd like to see this actually start at 6th grade and extending through our high school years. There are many good people out there, but in addition to that, we happen to have somebody presently on our staff who actually administered a large for-profit SAT preparation company. I believe was in charge of 140 outlets. And at any rate, whoever we choose, this person should be given a stipend to organize and set up a comprehensive program. This person will be responsible for developing a plan, hiring personnel, contacting parents, and working with the district guidance department and the administration of the school. Recruitment of staff. Any organization, whether it's school or business, is only as good as the people they employ, and then placing those people in positions in which they can flourish. And we need to develop a strategy to attract the brightest and the most skillful applicants to the Englewood Board of Education. We make a strong effort to do that. In technology, we need a clearer vision of what we want technology to provide for our students and staff, and we will develop that. Then we need to have an infrastructure that supports this vision. Englewood would benefit perhaps by finding some expertise to assist us in making this occur. And that should be followed with a financial plan, because when you deal with technology, it's not a one-shot deal. You have to have some kind of a plan that's financially responsible and will meet our needs. And I'd like to start talking about the actual grades. Preschool to grade 3. This is the most crucial period in the child's educational life. Extraordinary measures need to be taken to make it possible for each child to be able to meet or exceed educational expectations. If a child is on grade level at grade 3, that child is going to graduate high school and go on further. If a child does not meet expectations for grade 3, that child is going to struggle, and unfortunately the odds are they're not going to graduate high So we have to make a greater effort to make sure that when our children have reached grade 3, they are on the grade level we are. Well, now how are we going to get this done? Well, I believe we have to start before the children come to school. I would like to recommend that we start building this up in our preschool students. I would like to be able to hire 1 or 2 persons to be at the Englewood Public Library twice, 2 Saturdays each month. These staff members we will let parents know that they're going to be there. We want parents to come, get a library card. Those 2 people, if the parents don't feel comfortable doing it, will help select books that are appropriate for the age and the advancement of those children. And that will do a great deal to help build vocabulary and love of books, which will stand those children well when they begin to come into the school setting. I would like to expand the program that they're doing in Qualls right now of small group instruction. This is something new. There is an absolutely wonderful program, and I believe the only program that in all my years that has ever really worked, it's called Reading Recovery Program in grade 1. It can only be used in grade 1. For some reason, it's not effective in grade 2. It is effective in grade 1. And a number of children who have overcome all kinds of things and actually really learned how to read, this program has done that. The goal of Reading Recovery is to reduce the number of first graders who have extreme difficulty learning to read and write. If there's a problem, don't let it get out of hand. Deal with it right then and make it right. This is part of something bigger, actually. What I've done is I've actually freed one of our administrators who I felt was particularly capable. Mathematics is one of our most troublesome areas. We have to do something with that. I have finished, actually, today. Well, we're going to refine it and we'll be ready for this December 20th. A revamping of our mathematics curricula and the way we teach math. I found that the math we did, it wasn't sequential. It didn't, not to use technical, it didn't scaffold. It didn't build one on another. And so it was making our teachers crazy and our kids crazy. And I think what we have in place now, you will see a major difference in achievement of children in mathematics, including the ability to take, because it spirals, they do a little in each grade, building, so that you can do pre-algebra and algebra in grade 7 and 8, and not wait till you get to high school for that. And that puts them behind the 8 ball, because you never really catch up to that. One of the ways to do it, also, is to make math stronger, is to hire math specialists to teach mathematics starting in grade 3. Nobody loves this subject more than the person who's certified in this subject. They not only know the mechanics, but they know the why. And they will be, I believe, far more effective teachers of that particular subject. We're doing a little experiment in grade 3 right now. It was done before I got here in the high school, where they took the children of all different abilities, all different ages, and they taught them the abacus. And those kids did remarkable things in just a matter of weeks. And the kids, from what I was able to see, really began to develop a number sense. So as an experiment, right now we're doing a little push-in program in all the classes in grade 3. And after, when we get to the spring, we're going to do an evaluation program to see, and also to see how they do on the tests, to see if this was able to help the children gain better number sense, and also to make more academic progress. One of the things they did, for example, that I saw very simplistic, they were able, first they did it with an abacus, where they would take a column of 10 numbers, 4 digits, and add them up. And they did it like that, 1, 2, 3 on the abacus. Then the instructor said, put your abacus away. And put on the board the same thing. And every kid was able to do it. It took a little longer, not much longer, no paper. It was in heads. Every one of them got it correct. I'm not sure I could do it. In fact, I'm more than not sure. and if that works, we'll institute it in more grades. Grade 4 to grade 6. If the abacus program works, we will do a push-in program. What I mean by push-in program, we're not going to do it instead of it. We'll do it as an enrichment. And the district is going to provide a more coherent and sequential mathematics program, which will be taught only by accredited mathematics teachers. Grades 7 and 8. Once again, an improved mathematics program will be implemented. The school very much would like, and it seems to me it makes sense because it's done in the cloud, and it's a perfect segue going up, is to put the AVID program back. I've been working with Dr. Daniels. She's writing a grant, which we hope we can get, similar to a GIVA program that we had many years ago. It's a program that works with students, parents, and the school to build a mindset of academic success. Even simple things, like when they meet, they bring in a bank. And everybody opens up, you get $5, you open up a bank account. That's your college fund. Grandma gives you some money, or you earn some money, it goes into your college fund. It sets a mindset that that's where you're going to go. It's the beginning. And then also, one of the most important things, if we're able to get this, and I think there's a good chance we will, not only does it provide academic supports during the school year, it provides a camp during the summer. It takes the kids off the street. It puts them on Bergen Community College's campus, where they'll get 2 hours of academics in the morning, and then they'll be able to play ball or swimming on the campus. They can use all the facilities. So that parents will know where their children are, and that they're well cared for, and they're growing. Grades 9 to 12. The academies in the high school will have their academic programs strengthened. One of the programs I'd like to see happen is something I call Professor in the Classroom. What this is, it's a push-in program. And once again, when I say it's a push-in program, depending what subject you're taking, and depending who you're having coming, they actually put it into it. It is, they have mini courses of 1 to 5 sessions. They'll be taught by people recognized in their field and people who teach at universities in the metropolitan area. When I say recognized in their field, it might be a reporter from a newspaper. It might be a novelist. It might be a scientist. It may be a physician. It may be a physicist, depending on who and how cleverly we're able to garner these people. The sessions will have high interest and an engagement factor. And these programs will be provided for all the children who go to high school, whether it's the academy or the regular high school. I also would like to bring up for discussion, and hopefully even start it for next year if the community wants it. We need a significant vocational program. We send too many children out into this world without a real opportunity of gaining gainful employment. It's not for everybody, but it certainly is for some. And especially for those children who are desirous of entering the workforce immediately after high school. There are a number of exciting ways that we can make this happen. I also would like people to consider, this is further out. This isn't for this coming year. And I know we've done it before. Perhaps it wasn't done as well as it should be. Theme-based small learning communities. almost like academies within the regular high school. They can be very successful at this age. This kind of an organization provides a very personalized educational experience for children. They just put this in at the last minute, really, just this past week. We had been talking with Bergen Pack, and one of our parents, Mrs. Mosley, actually donated a great deal of studio equipment to Bergen Pack. They reached out to us with a special performing arts program, completed a 4-year curriculum, with the availability of all their people to work with our children. And they're willing to start off with a program that will accept about 70 children. They'll take it for as long as 3 or 4 hours. It was in theater arts, music, both instrumental and voice, acting, and stage technical work. Sounds very interesting. We're meeting further. We also have to find out the financial pieces of it. But they also may be some grants for us. This is something new. It's not new to many places. For example, they use this at Dwight. They give a small course, and it incorporates, they call it college knowledge curriculum. All juniors should take this. And what it does, it builds their capacity so that they can actually do their applications and write the essays and apply for scholarships and research the colleges they're going to go to and apply for some internships and prepare for interviews and apply for student aid. Children need, all children need this, not our children need this. All children will benefit from something. Just a word about the academies. The academies are an opportunity for anyone to provide an educational experience few other high schools can provide. This unit provides a significant number of seats to be filled by students who do live in the neighborhood. The education is rigorous and the coursework is demanding. The result of being in the program for 4 years is that our students are better qualified to apply to, be accepted to a prestigious college and university. The academies also present opportunities for all high school students to take a high-level course in areas where he or she excels and has an interest. Academic areas need to be strengthened. We need to build a stronger advisory board, boards actually, for each academy. And in my opinion, anything that Englewood does, you don't do second rate. If you're having the academies, you're making the best academy. You make this the academy that the kids want to come before the other academy. This is also something that is just talk, right? But I think it's worth the talk. And that is to consider the reconfiguration of the schools and the grades. Not drastic. Wall stays the same. Greco changes because it goes from grade 1 and only 2. The reason for that is children are learning how to read in grade 1. The type of education they're getting in grade 1 and 2 is more conceptual. It's bigger than, it's faster than, it's higher than, it's heavier than. When you start getting into grade 3 to 5, and one of the reasons why they get to be tested is we do more mechanical. That's when you really get into the mechanics of the and so this was broken by what we thought was appropriate for learning. The side advantage of that is, because of the space now that would be at Greco, the district offices can actually move to Greco, and that would free needed space at the high school. It doesn't cost them. The cloud would be 3, 4, and 5, and possibly the middle school would be 6, 7, and 8, and the high school would be the high school. When I say data collection platform, all the materials that we've been collecting, we've been using something called Power School. Power School in this day was the correct choice to make. It's done by Pearson. Pearson's the same as making up the tests, the partners, etc. Pearson has more power school and let it fall down. It is not able to produce the type of things that schools need. So what I am suggesting is that we bring Pearson and Power School representatives to us and can make a presentation. We can tell them what our problems are with their platform and how they plan to correct them. Also to call in Genesis, which is in a large number of schools, well over 200 schools. But they seem to have been able to capture, at least at this moment in time, more of what's really needed to produce what we want to produce for our parents and for the state. We'll invite them also and evaluate which suits angle better. But I think we have to make a decision one way or the other. This is something that we don't do much with. We need to form an alumni group. We don't need their money. We need the brains. We need their ideas. We need their support. The people who we can reach out to will do things where they will enjoy the company of each other. And this could be a very special organization for our school system. And it'll take a little work, but I think as it grows, and as some people get into it, they bring other people who they know, it really could be a very valuable organization, ideas, and support, possibly down the road for using some money. But that's not the reason we start this. I think we need to take a look at our transportation. Some years ago, decisions were made to close neighborhood schools, to build the schools where they are in the cluster. And that's fine. In fact, one of the strengths of that, when I take people around, it's something anyone should be very proud of. Our buildings are terrific. They maintain, they look good, they're suitable. We have better facilities than most school systems have. At any rate, what that happened, when this was a line, there were many children who lived where the other schools were. So by link rows of percent. There's safety issues. There's issues in the wintertime when it's cold. Now, buses were purchased, and we don't use all our buses. And I think we have to do a study on who's being bused, who's not being bused. I also would like, while we're doing this, because we do have some very dangerous streets. Some of them are Palisades Avenue, Knickerbocker Road, Tenafly Road. The police actually put in a program called Project Safe Corridors. They do it in a way that people don't see. They have people stationed in places so that when our children are walking to school, they're safe from all kinds of things, including anybody who's driving on that wants to try to engage in our children. It's something that the children can go to. At any rate, this is something that needs attention. And the last thing, and I will venture to say, the single most important thing that we're not doing well, and not just neighborhood, but most school systems. The answer to many of our educational needs rests with the parents. They're the most important entity and factor in the lives of children. They set expectations, they set standards. We're working on a number of ways to reach out to parents to bring it into the educational system, to work with us, to talk with us. This is going to be a slow process, but I think when you think back in your own lives, some some of the reasons you got to where you were because of your family. And how much your family wanted something for you. And I'll give you an example in my own house. I'm much older than most people do. When I was young, it was very uncommon for a girl to go to college. My sister, I'll admit it, and she'll be the first to admit it. She's probably smart. But she wasn't going to go to college because it wasn't necessary. But I was. It was a given. From the moment I was born, when I was born, in my family, I'm going to college. Of course, my mother said with my dead body, she's not going to college. And my sister went to college. The importance of the family cannot be overrated. So we must find ways of teaming with our parents. So this is just a few things. I really look forward to engaging people. Anything you think will face, certainly will. And there'll be more things, but that's basically what I'd like to give a special thank you to Maria has helped with some financial ideas, Dr. James has enormous help with the educational needs. I'd also like to make a special thank you to Mr. Omicron, because he was extremely helpful and was the major force behind putting together a plan for the mathematics program. So thank you for your indulgence.
Thank you, Mr. Roth. Do we have any questions from the board members to our superintendent? Mr. Zell.
Mike, just thank you. One thing that we need is a plan in this district, and the way you laid this out, it really gives us a bit of a roadmap, something to kind of target. I just thank you for that, for your presentation. It means a lot.
I just wanted to say the same thing for the first time in a long time. It looks like we have a vehicle to move forward and not stay stagnant.
And I'd like to applaud the list of great ideas that will help move our kids forward. The one concern is it's fighting on multiple fronts, and in order to have a plan, we got to pick which ones are the most impactful items that we can do in the next 10 months, and then do the second tier. So this is great, it's a wonderful list, but it could be daunting. So let's pick, okay, we'll start with these three and then go to the next one.
I'd like to also echo sentiments already given, but on top of that, it shows that you've listened to everybody and you've tailored this for the district. I couldn't really imagine it being tailored so much towards what's needed in the district. People talk about it, have talked about it, but never really put it in writing in such a way that you did. And I look forward to, even in absence from the board, to working with you and trying to get some of this stuff going.
Thank you, Mr. Ron. I think it's refreshing to have all these new ideas. I would encourage you, being that we're looking for a permanent superintendent, that you are an integral part of actually helping us to select that person. And that with these ideas, that while you're going for and helping the committee and all the board members to interview and go through the process, that we should see and look for these, look for someone that could carry on, especially the ones, the important pieces that we do come together and pick out, but that you keep it forefront as part of the search.
Mr. Roth, really appreciate this. I think what stands out the most in my head, we brought you in, was it July And your promise to us was that you were going to come forward with a plan and that you weren't going to waste a lot of time doing so. And you kept to your word. Really appreciate it. It's really good that you were able to target all fronts, if you will. That shows how concerned and dedicated you were with this process. So really appreciate it. I especially like you pinpointing not only the academies, but the, as you term, the regular high school and the vocational piece, which is very important. It's good.
So I feel like a kid in a candy store because there's so many delicious ideas, and it's really refreshing and exciting. And you mentioned, I mean, I literally took count of 20 plus. College knowledge curriculum, the emphasis in staff recruitment, the math specialist concept in the lower grades. Amazing ideas. I'm curious to follow up on Henry's point about sort of the diversity and the volume of ideas. And obviously, excuse me, prioritization is going to come into play. I'm just curious if you at this juncture have a perspective on how you'd want to sequence this, or just the top couple of issues that you feel are going to be the biggest levers for us right now.
Yes. We'll talk about it in the future, but for example, mathematics, the changing of what we do is number one. It doesn't have to be what it is right now. The solution is not complicated, and we can make that happen quickly and efficiently, and begin to see results quickly. Some of the strategies, for example, I'm going to a school this Monday to address the teachers of that school with the strategies about the band, with the children just a few points under, a few points over. We're making that happen now. But the answer is yes. And this was just to flesh out what it is. But you're right. If you do too much, you do nothing. You have to pick the few things, make sure they're done, make sure they're done well, and then you go on to something else. But I wanted to lay out some of the things that I think need some attention.
Mr. Roth, I want to echo the sentiments of every member here and certainly the community. Thank you so much for not only working with your staff and getting them involved, but especially for listening to the community. Some of the things that you mentioned, clearly members of the community have called board members and talked about it. They've met with you. This document that you've drafted so far reflects the thinking of so many people, and it's something that we can all support and work towards. And so you have galvanized many of us, and I can see that we are going to be anxious to come back and sit with you and look to you to do exactly what it is that you're doing as we, the superintendent, and help us to articulate what's going to be implemented in this school district. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And you have affirmed the decision that we've made with you and with the superintendent. So thank you again. It is a pleasure. With that,